Too big. Okay. Drushim L'Sukkos, page 160, second column. L'havim Asher Kosev would understand what it says. B'yem Hashmini Atzeres Ki Alachem. By Shmini Atzeres, it says, no, the picture is something, whatever. Okay, it says by Shmini Atzeres Ki Alachem that it should be for you. B'shvisha Pesach. And B'shvisha Pesach, oh, thank you. It says, Atzeres L'Hashem Elokecha. So here it says a holding back for you, and by Shvisha Pesach, it says it's Atzeres holding back L'Hashem Elokecha. So he says, so what's the difference that Shmini Atzeres is Lochem, and by Shvisha Pesach it says Atzeres L'Hashem Elokecha. So it says in the Iksiv, after Hashem Elokecha, b'chol avach, b'chol nafshcha, b'chol miyadecha. This thing closer, please. Yeah. Good, thank you. In Iksiv it says in the pasuk, after Hashem Elokecha, shalav Hashem, b'chol avach, b'chol nafshcha, b'chol miyadecha. So it says in Shema in the first paragraph, you shall love Hashem with all your heart, all your soul, and all your might. What does it mean? Merazal, with your two yitzers, Yetzer Tov and Yetzer Hara. Right? So what is it saying? Shema, you shall love Hashem with your, not only with Yetzer Tov, but even with the Yetzer Hara. Hainu shekol koyach v'eitzim alav, that the whole strength and might of Rish be'esh b'yada, mikol mine Yetzer Hara shebe'elam hazeh, that all the burning of the Yetzer Hara to worldly temptations, yisapech halav, that flame should be transformed. In other words, all the desires, enthusiasm, and wantings, and all that for worldly things should be transformed completely. La'avas Hashem, only to love Hashem. Okay, that's what we say in Shema. V'aftas Hashem l'kacha b'chol levavcha. What does it mean b'chol levavcha? That even the Yetzer Hara should love Hashem, just like the Yetzer Nefesh Shulakis does. It could be when Mashiach comes, I'll transform to all the nations a clear language. That they should all call only the name of Hashem, to serve one part, meaning what does the pasuk say when Mashiach comes? That even the nations, the idol worshippers, they're all going to call only for Hashem. That's all they're going to want is only Hashem. Shein shor she'atayves hagashmi, which the source of the idol worshippers is the source of all temptations of evil. Yafech lahem safer bur likkutei kula, and that's the inyan of insapcha chashechel nahara, the transforming darkness to light. It's not only dispelling darkness. It's actually transforming darkness to light. La'av d'shchem echad, to serve one, meaning shchem echad, achodayim bas v'katvan. It means the shoulders. Hashem, you turn their heart backwards from being in the level of echad. He's saying is as follows. There's a concept of hiskafia, breaking evil, which would be a marshal of turning on a light in a room. So what you actually happen to do is you got rid of the darkness. But you didn't make the darkness light. And the proof of it is the second you turn off the light, or as they say in yeshiva, you close the light, so then what happens is it's dark again. So the darkness didn't become light. The light dispelled it, throughout, got rid of the darkness. B'chol levavcha will be lost. Love means not only will they be dispelled, they'll actually be transformed. Not that the nefesh shulakis is so dominating, it just gets rid of the nefesh habamis. What happens, loss of love, is that the nefesh habamis itself will only want Hashem. That's
permanent.
Yeah, that's permanent. To be a level of, okay, skip the brackets. Zel Peters v'yohavta. That's what it means. V'yohavta. V'yohavta is Hashem Elokecha. In Lashon Kodesh, v'yohavta means you should love. V'yohavta also means in Hebrew, you will love. So it means two things. He says, Lashon Sivoy. Number one, it's a commandment, you should love Hashem. The Gam Lashon Asid. To be asid, the expression v'yohavta, you will love Hashem, meaning, Shala'ot Seifich Lavas Hashem. That eventually, what is the pasuk saying? V'yohavta, eventually you're going to love, I mean when Mashiach comes, you're going to love Hashem, b'chol levavcha, b'chol nafshcha, b'chol miyadecha. Because no Jew will be lost, so to speak. That's b'chol levavcha. B'chol levavcha means that even the nefesh habamis is literally transformed to kedusha. Then you have the second b'chol nafshcha, which is even greater. What could be greater than b'chol levavcha? He says, "She'ein nibes b'leiv ha'adam." It's the love that's not grasped in the human body. V'shein b'gashmi is dugma v'erika cloud. Because in Gashmis you don't have such a similar thing. The first level, b'chol levavcha, means you have pleasures of world, you transform those pleasures. That means instead of wanting world, you only want kedusha. Dr. Rebbe is saying the second level, b'chol nafshecha, doesn't exist in Gashmis. What do you mean? This is mislaheves and mislahetes benafshes tzadikim. Ki heichol Hashem heimo v'keli beis Hashem. So the b'chol above nafshecha means even the level of a tzaddik that has no yetzer hara. Even if tzaddik ain't a gomor, incomplete tzaddik kills the yetzer hara. Tzaddik gomor transforms the yetzer hara to yetzer tov. But even a tzaddik doesn't have a nefesh habamis, that love is a stronger love of the nefesh u'likis, of a level of becoming one with Hashem. And then b'chol meidecha, he ava el al kolono, shei b'chin is ava rabba b'meid such a high level of ava. Shei nenit b'safilu b'nishamas tzadikim. Even in the level of tzaddikim, it doesn't exist. In other words, b'chol levavcha exists for us peasants. Instead of loving a world, we love Hashem. Then you have a higher level, b'chol nafshecha, which is a level of tzaddikim that anyway have no yetzer hara. But not only do they love Elokut, they love Elokut in a way of one, that they're one mamish one with Hashem. B'chol meidecha is even a love greater than the love of tzaddikim. And that's the dafka by Yisbarach Mamish Bein Baruch, that there's not even you that loves. In other words, the second level b'chol nafshecha means there's a you that loves, but you don't have any the taivas for world because you don't have a yetzer hara. You're the level of a tzaddik, kill the nefesh habamis. But there's still me that loves. B'chol meidecha means there's no me. There's only Elokus. It says in Tillim, God Hashem Hashem is very great. And to Hashem's greatness, there's no end. Right? That means the ava of a Jew becoming one with Hashem is a level b'chol meidecha so infinite. In a level of infinite, there is really no end to that level of infinite. Because you say, look, Dulasi ein chayke. V'kach ava nimshachas mizeh. Therefore, the ava that comes from that level of understanding is b'chinas ma'ed b'li shvir gvul. Be'en ha-nefesh yichelu lahasiga. The nefesh can't understand it. Li'yesha nefesh b'chinas nivra. Because this level means you're not existing anymore, only Hashem exists. Now, nefesh is still an emanation of Hashem. It's still a limited thing. It comes into the body. It's a limitation. Who merits this level of Ava? Bali Tshuva, the level of Bali Tshuva, but Rabbi Elazar ben Dodaya Bali Tshuva. K'may merazal makom shvali tshuva aim them ein tzadikim gemorim yochelim lamed. It means like this. Basically, if you want to simplify it, there's a level about tshuva. No, I'm sorry. There's a level of beinanim. There's a level of beinanim. The level of beinanim is b'chol levalcha, that even you get the nefesh habamis also to level of kus. Then you have b'chol nafshach, which is a level of tzadikim that don't ever yet Torah. And then you have b'chol meidecha, he says, which is even a greater level. That's the level of Bali Tshuva. But Bali Tshuva, again, like Rabbi Elazar ben Dodaya, that the Avedas become mitzvahs.
There's no understanding there?
Huh? There's no understanding. No, I said the word understanding. It's a level of love that you reach b'chol meidecha. Meaning as follows. When Rabbi Elazar ben Dodaya put his head between his knees and cried out, and a voice came out from heaven that Rabbi Elazar ben Dodaya is mezumen le'olam haba, is fit for olam haba. Yeah, and Bachar Rabbi, the Gemara says in Avodah Zarah, Rabbi cried and said, "Oh, we work our whole life for olam haba. This guy got it in a split second." Okay, now, so Chassidus asked the question. Tshuva can get rid of the Averis. It can undo. You simplify it very simple. You do an Averi, you get dirty spiritually. You get dirty. So Tshuva cleans it. Fine. But like we learned many times, Tshuva cannot make an undone done. The Gemara says, what is a mu'uvish? Shlomo Melech says, mu'uvish le'yuchel iskin. It's a crookedness that you can never fix. So the Gemara says, what does that mean? So there's a few examples. One is, you miss Krishma. Okay, or you miss tefillin. Monday morning, you didn't put on tefillin. Yeah? So even though you're going to do tshuva, from now on, you made up your mind, I'm going to put on tefillin every day. But Monday's tefillin you missed. It's not something you got dirty, you can clean it. So the question is, Rabbi Elazar ben Dodaya didn't do mitzvahs. So I understand that all the Averis were wiped off. But in order to get into Gan Eden, you need to do mitzvahs. How could tshuva, and generally speaking, tshuva doesn't have the undone done. Tshuva can get rid of the done, that you did bad, you can get cleansed. But to make the undone done, how do you do that? So Chassidus explains, there's a level of tshuva that i.e. Rabbi Elazar ben Dodaya did, that is so great, it's connecting so much to the b'chol meidecha, that level of tshuva, that you reach a level of elokus that done and undone, and mitzvahs and averis, and infinite and finite and nature and super, it's all exactly the same. The kids say in the mitzvah, Maimar Chazal, Im Chatasa Matifel Bei, V'Rabo Pshech Matasali, Im Tzedakta Matitel Leim Yam Yad Chayikach. Yeah? What does it mean? Im Tzedakta, Im Chatasa, if you sin, what do you think you did anything? Do you think God cares? You think affected him in any way? V'Rabo Pshech, and you have an abundance of negligent, worse types of sins. Matasali. Im tzedakta, if you did good, matit. In other words, there's a level of elokus that good and bad are totally equal. Or time and timeless is exactly the same. So if you reach a level of elokus through tshuva, through this b'chol meidecha tshuva, that the time is timeless, the same thing, and bad and good, and infinite, finite, it's all the same. So then the undone was never undone. He could do the undone done.
Is that the same thing as Teshuva Me'ava?
Yeah, but Teshuva Me'ava, he's talking about that the Gemara says that Zdainus Nasale Kazachis.
Yeah.
Not the regular level of Teshuva that everybody does. Talking about this Rabbi Elazar ben Dodaya Teshuva.
Is that the Teshuva Me'ira?
No, his was Teshuva Me'ava.
And in Teshuva Me'ava?
Teshuva Me'ira, the Averis become...
zero.
Yeah, the Averis become wiped off.
And Teshuva Me'ava, becomes a mitzvah.
Tshuva from Ava Rabbi says, "B'chol meidecha," then the Avedis becomes mitzvahs. So that is not the level of Beinanim, so to speak, that transformed the Nefesh Shabamis to Nefesh Shulikis. You know, or that's the certain level of tzaddikim. Then you have a higher level of tzaddikim that they're b'chol nafshecha, only Elokus exists. Then you have even a higher level, that you tap into a level of Elokus, that good and bad and all this stuff is exactly the same. We can't understand it, we just know. Bottom line is that this level of tshuva returns to Hashem in such a way that the undone and done is exactly the same thing.
You must want it. You cannot
What?
It must come from.
B'chol meidecha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You cannot be forced.
Pleasant dreams.
No. That's it. Any teshuvah.
Yeah. What?
For some reason, I was always under some impression that Chol Decha has a lot to do with what we donate, what we give.
Simple means, Rashi says, B'chol meidecha, b'chol mameincha. And Rashi says, because some people like themselves more than the money, and some people like the money more than themselves. Yeah? So b'chol meidecha, but that's the simple meaning. But b'chol meidecha means with ma'id. Ma'id is b'li gvul. That's why in the second parsha of Shema it says b'chol avavchem b'chol nafshechem. Right? V'im shema tishma tzei ashanechin v'avas Hashem lakechem ulavdei b'chol avavchem b'chol nafshechem. It doesn't say b'chol me'idchem. So the Gemara in Bracha says the first parsha is called Eisen Ritzeinu Shemakim. They're doing the will of Hashem. Second parsha is Ein Eisen Ritzeinu Shemakim. It says Avas Hashem Lakechem Lavdei, because again, as long as a person is still within the limitation, it's not Ritzeinu Shemakim, and Eisen Ritzeinu Shemakim simply means you do the will of Hashem. Eisen Ritzeinu Shemakim, Chassidus says, means not you do the will of Hashem. You make the will of Hashem. Eisen Ritzeinu Shemakim. They are the ones that create the will of Hashem to reveal Himself in the essential way of B'chol Meidecha. So the second parsha, because it doesn't say B'chol Meidchem, so therefore it's not the level of Eisen Ritzeinu Shemakim of creating a new Ratzon of Hashem. It doesn't exist.
You create a Ratzon.
Yeah.
That's what it said. Think good and it will be good.
You can think good. And when it says, Hashem tzilcha, Hashem is your shadow. Tzil is a shadow. Now, contrary when little kids are, chasing their shadow, the shadow is not, you're not following the shadow. You create the shadow. Hashem tzilcha means we create what's going on up there. Or the Mishnah in Pek Yovan, when it says Dam alamayla mimach, simply means know what's above you. And the Maggid said, no, what it means is Da, you should know. Malamayla, what's going upstairs, mimach is from you. We call the shots. Why? Because Hashem set it up that way. So B'chol Meidecha is a level of like he said, the emissary level of Balei Tshuva. He says, Achazech la'aver abezu is the level of Balei Tshuva, like it said, B'makom shebalei Tshuva em der mein tzadikim gemorim yochelim lamid. So l'cheira, why? So he says, V'inyin k'meshel kos ki yisr min ha'cheshach. It's like Shusterman HaMelech says, the advantage of dark over light, of light over dark. Now again, Shusterman HaMelech was a very brilliant man. When Shusterman HaMelech says, Re'isi sheyashlish yisrin l'chochma min ha'sichlus ki yisrin min ha'cheshach. You can imagine the most brilliant guy in the world says, I see an advantage of chochma over shtus, like the advantage of light over dark. I don't need Shlomo HaMelech to tell me that light is better than dark and brilliance is better than stupidity. I mean, nobody needs Shlomo, even we know that. So the Alter Rebbe in Tanya says, what Shlomo Melech, he doesn't say, because again, grammatically, he should say, Yesh Yisin L'Chochma Al HaSichlis, Ki Yisin Ha'er Al HaChoshech. Grammatically, light over dark. He doesn't say that. He says, Ra'isi Yesh Yisin L'Chochma Min HaSichlis, Ki Yisin Ha'er Min HaChoshech. What Shlomo Melech is saying completely different. That you need Taka Shlomo Melech to understand this. Shlomo Melech says, Yisrin Ha'or, the greatest level of Or is Min HaChoshech, when darkness becomes light. The ultimate level of Chochmah is not Chochmah. Min HaSichlis, when stupidity becomes Chochmah, that's the ultimate level of Chochmah. Because then, how could light become dark? How can dark become light? How can stupidity become brilliance if darkness is identified as darkness and light is identified as light? So how can darkness become light? So the answer is, because when you tap into a level that darkness and light are exactly the same, so then you tap into an ultimate level of light that's much better than regular light. Infinitely greater than regular light. And that's why Chassidus brings down another pasuk. There's a pasuk wherever, it's one and a half Torah somewhere. Halei ach Esav liYaakov. The pasuk starts off by saying like, Halei ach Esav liYaakov. Is Esav not a brother of Yaakov? And then the pasuk says, Halei Yaakov Esav senesi v'es Yaakov ahavti. Or Yaakov ahavti v'es Esav senesi. Pasuk starts off by saying like this: Esav and Yaakov are brothers, and then it says, I loved Yaakov and hated Esav. Again, it doesn't make sense. So Chassidus explains, there's a level of elokus that Yaakov and Esav are brothers. Brothers mean equal. That's the definition of brothers, mean you're all equal. You inherit equally. Okay? They're equals. There's a level of Kedusha that Yaakov and Esav are brothers, meaning that evil and good are the same. Then Hashem takes it a step further. There's a level of Bechira that Hashem shows Yaakov to love and Esav to hate. Because if they're essentially equal, so why do you like one over the next? But the real Bechira is when both things are exactly equal. So then Hashem chose good over bad.
Or when you say there's evil...
Or the pasuk says, "Ubacharta b'chayim." The Chumash, right? Reinu satu v'nachayim s'achayim s'amaz s'tevah s'rau b'charta b'chayim. Now, which idiot is going to pick death over life? Over life? Just tell me choose life. What it means is there's a level where life and death, i.e., good and bad, are equal. There's a level that Hashem is giving both things. They're equal. And then Torah says, the avodah of the Jew is to do good. What? Yeah, that's the level of Purim. You reach a level that you don't know the difference between Oder, Haman, and Baruch Mordechai, because up there in the highest of levels, they're exactly the same.
Nothing to do with drinking.
Nothing to do with drinking. That's why the Rebbe used to say, Bachim, when the Rebbe came out, you shouldn't drink, whatever. So the Rebbe said, by Bachim it means they should be drunk in Yeno Shel Torah, in the secrets of Torah, which is Chassidus. They should be drunk and learning. That level. So he says, there's an advantage of light dafka when it comes from darkness. The ultimate light is when it comes from cheshech. When a person puts to his heart, meaning he realizes, all his action, speech, and thoughts, asher lo l'havaya which are not for Hashem. B'chol yemei chayil, b'chayahev le'shem choshech mamish. They're mamish, darkness, and a concealment of Hashem. Ba'afal became, nevertheless, the person wanted those evil things. Makosh came v'kavol chayme. She'ashis in ma'ilel eravaya. Therefore, the person realizes that I'm transforming that level of love to not b'chol meidacha, nafshecha, not b'chol nafshecha. You reach a level b'chol meidacha. L'zeis tisra b'v'tiskad al-ava b'meid. B'yasa says u'mayla le'en ketz. There would be a level of to take out his nefesh. Mimasra from the imprisonment of the nefesh in this evil, to go back to the father, and that's the level of dainus nasi kazachi is. That's the pshat. Avedas become mitzvahs. That means you tap into a level of kedusha that avedas and mitzvahs are exactly the same. That's that level of kedusha. Ki yala v'yavi v'yagia will come to a level of ava rabba now. To this great level of ava rabba, which is b'chol meidecha, that everything is the same. Now, again, how did Alter Rebbe get into this? Because he asked the question, why by Shmini Atzeres it says Atzeres Yelachem, and Shvisha Pes it says L'Hashem Elokecha. So he starts explaining the B'chol Avach, B'chol Nafsh, B'chol Me'edach. Obviously, you'll get, eventually I'll answer the question. Yaakov, you have to roll your